Welcome, everybody. We're live. Oh, first solo one in a while. So, welcome, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for tuning in, especially those watching, not especially, but also thank you to those who are watching the replay. We got a lot to talk about. We got some Hex news. We got some Pulsechain news, some Pulsechain updates. Hex price doing all right. And the CPI. The CPI is definitely something to talk about. Came back 6.4, so it's year over year down another 0.1. It was supposed to be 6.1, but it was 6.4, but it's still down. Yeah, so that's cool. Metastaying. Good day, everybody. Good day, Metastaying. Hexhausted. Hey there. What's going on, Hexhausted? Crypto Mance PLS. Godwell just ended stake. Oh, nice. So that's another 600 hex per T-share. Did it a day early. He's supposed to end the 16th. Oh, well. Did he sell? I doubt it. I don't think he's going to sell. He might not sell ever. And Sami just tweeted that he has 140,000 ETH, 150,000 ETH, day one ETH. So that's cool. Yeah, 9 watching. Let's just get into the charts. Bitcoin has confirmed support on the trend line. Has confirmed support. It's trying to make a break above. Delete this. Trying to make a break above the 22. This resistance right here. Will it break above that and head for perhaps 24,000? That's really the question. I don't know what these lines are, but yeah. So I guess next level is 24,751. If we could break above that, and then even higher, and then head for higher prices. Is it going to hit the 27? I said 27,000. Holds back there, so now it's like 28,000. It's going to hit that resistance over there at 28,000. That's a good question, and let me know what you guys think. Definitely looking good. We're a long way from this previous support at 17,000. And to get to 11K, we're going to have to even break below that. So I don't know if even Gareth Sulloway is thinking that Bitcoin would hit 10,000. And Gareth Sulloway was saying Bitcoin would also hit like 10, 11,000, like Richard Hart. He might be wrong too, which just goes to show that technical analysts, they don't know much. But credit to him for saying that Bitcoin was headed to 20K when it was at 60K. So that was awesome. But for now, Bitcoin is pumping. I guess the market originally took those it kind of pumped on a 6.1. So I think, again, this is not the beginning of the bear market. It's not the beginning of the bull market. It's not the end of the bear market and the beginning of the bull market. It's the beginning of the end of the bear market. When is the end of the bull market? Bear market? When is the end of the bear market? The end of the bear market. Let me look at the charts. The end of the bear market is probably maybe summer. Maybe summer, we could say, like end. Maybe end of the summer. End of the summer is like when we could start getting bullish, like bullish, like we're going to start getting rich kind of bullish. But for now, we're just in this consolidation period. But consolidation is great for accumulation. So definitely something to consider. I'm accumulating, especially for the upcoming Pulsechain launch. So that's good. I really think, guys, if you're still in crypto, just pat yourself on the back. Okay, I think the worst is behind us, and by the worst I mean FTX. FTX is the Mt. Gox of 2023. So and 2022. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy. But what do you guys think? Where do you guys think we are? Let me know in the chats or the super chats. And we got Hex. Wow, look at Hex. 5.2. Yeah. That's 3 green days in a row. Imminent Pulsechain launch coming right back up to test this resistance, break through it, and hopefully we can get to the 7-cent mark. What are your staking ladders going to look like when Hex at 7 cents? I'll tell you one thing, if you're buying the dip, it would probably look pretty good, in my opinion, my non-financial advice opinion. But yeah, celebrate that we are pumping. Looks like here we have a cup and handle pattern. And if we break above the cup and handle, Hex cup and handle pattern, right? This is the cup. And this is the handle. Maybe you can see it better on the 4-hour. Yeah, that's a nice cup and handle right there. Right? Cup and handle. Get the free drawing. Cup and handle. Which means that if we break above this level right here, we could be headed for target of, get ready, guys, 8 cents. 8 cents for the cup and handle pattern. 8.4 cents. So 8.5 cents, guys. Are we going to break above this and head for 8.5 cents? Especially with the V3 news. It's looking like maybe I'm very bullish. Maybe I'm very bullish. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chats. In the chat. BTFT. Welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hey, speaking about Johnny's thesis of the OA liquidity pairing, if the OA wanted to do that pair in PulseX, you would have to bridge in tokens of value. Even if his devs built the bridge, don't you think he wouldn't leave that much economic energy in the bridge? Wouldn't he just get out of the bridge a wrapped copy pair in the DEX? What do you think? I doubt it. What? There's no PulseX. There's no PulseX on Ethereum. The bridge is for eHex and pHex. eHex will have to be bridged onto Pulsechain to be paired with pHex. And that the question is still applicable in that case. It's not applicable in PulseX. PulseX, what are you bridging in? It's all on Pulsechain. So as far as the pHex, the eHex bridged, listen, if the bridge doesn't work, then there's problems, man. Yeah, I think if he built the bridge, he would leave that much economic energy, because that means, you know, if he built it and it doesn't work, then and other people lose money, he'd be responsible for that as well. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of economic energy. Probably be worse, if anything, if like other people's money gets lost in the bridge. So I think that's it. You build the best bridge you can. And if people lose money and they can't get it out, then you probably have to hard fork the network. I mean, that network's not viable if you lose a lot of money in the bridge. So, and that's what would happen. They would render Pulsechain obsolete, and they'd make it Pulsechain classic. They'd make it just like Ethereum. Ethereum had that problem. Ethereum, why do you have Ethereum Classic? You have Ethereum Classic because originally Ethereum Classic was Ethereum, and they had a DAO. And the DAO got a lot of, basically someone found a loophole that could extract a lot of money in that decentralized autonomous organization. They're able to basically like steal that money, and legally, meaning, it wasn't a hack. It was through a loophole in the code. And basically what happened was they hard forked the network, and they made what we know today as Ethereum. So that was Vitalik did that, and Charles Hoskinson was there in the beginning, and Charles Hoskinson said, no, code is law, you can't do that. And he made Cardano, and that's your little history lesson there. But the DEX is where the pool is. What? Not sure what you mean. But yeah, that's so if the bridge would be faulty and all that EHEX would get lost or whatever, then they hard fork the network, like Ethereum Classic to Ethereum, and that worked out pretty well. Although it would not be good at the time, but that's my 2 cents. I hope that helps. Metastaying said Sami made a good point that someone could sell down EHEX. Shake out the paper hands waiting for the snapshot. Interesting. Yeah, someone could do that. Someone could do a lot of things. Okay, let's get to Hex daily stats. Let's go to Crypto Bubbles first, and then we'll look at your chats a little bit. Feel free to leave a super chat if you're so interested. We got some cool stuff. Very green day. Wow. Hex is up 2.6%. Good. Green. Market go up. Nice. Hex daily stats. We have Hex. It's really at 5.2 right now. Payout per T-share, not bad. 6.423. 88 change in current holders and 46 change in current stakers. Very solid. Very, very solid. Yeah, that's really that. As far as that, now we can go to Twitter. Some of these tweets are a little old because I had prep yesterday, but then obviously Crispy Man came on, and when Crispy Man comes on, we disregarded it because we have other things to talk about. But this was cool. I know a lot of people are talking about the God Whales end stake, which he did, I guess, today. But the God Whale said, and I asked Johnny Chaos if Hex could go to 30. Well, Johnny Chaos said Hex could go to 30,000. And then I asked Crispy Man yesterday, and he said it's very possible, though nobody knows. And people think it's crazy. But then the God Whale said, most of the Hex is in diamond hands, and the rest of it will slowly but surely be burned away through staking. So in time, I truly can see Hex becoming more scarce than Bitcoin itself. That's why I believe one Hex can become worth more than one Bitcoin. Just my humble opinion. Now, that does sound crazy, and this was from a while ago, and it sounds crazy. It sounds very hard to believe, but it happened with Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin went from a couple of cents, maybe under a penny, to $69,000. Now people say, oh, but there's a lot less Bitcoin in circulation. But it's not simply about, there are a lot of factors. It's not simply the supply and circulation and or total supply. It's a lot more than that. It's the supply available. So you have, like, for example, diamonds with the De Beers. They basically have a monopoly on the supply of diamonds, and they purposefully make it scarce. They don't release many to the public because that's what gives it its appeal, that it's expensive. And with Hex, the same thing can happen. Right now, a lot of people have it that, they want to sell their plebs, whatever, but inevitably, the many Hex could go into the hands of the few, which is usually what happens. And if the few decide not to release it to the public, because especially considering they're rich people, then you could have the Hex price go up and just keep on going up and keep on going up until people are like, wow, like with Bitcoin. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible if the few go into the hands, if the many go into the hands of the few, and those few are rich and those few want it to be expensive and they have no incentive to sell, then yeah, that could happen. And consider other variables. Like Bitcoin might have a bigger circulating supply, but Bitcoin has imminent sell pressure for miners every day, right? What is it, like 6 blocks come out every block is 6 Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin pretty much automatically gets sold because miners need to sell because that is their income from operations is Bitcoin they mined. And then to pay expenses with the revenue, you need to sell. So that's a lot of sell pressure that hurts the price. And then you have, there's no yield. There's no staking with Bitcoin. There's just a lot of things inferior. So there are a lot of things that Hex has over Bitcoin that could further add to the likelihood that Hex can become more expensive than Bitcoin. It's something that is very hard to believe, but at the same time, Bitcoin being worth what it is today is also was very hard to believe. So I'm definitely not going to disregard it. It definitely makes sense. We'll see what happens. It could also mean that Bitcoin, it could also happen in the sense that let's say Bitcoin goes to zero and then Hex is worth more. So that could also make Hex become worth more than one Bitcoin. I guess the one problem would be there's just a lot, like if there's 16,000 Bitcoin, I think Johnny Chaos said 16,000 Bitcoin could bring it, like just dumped on the market, could bring it to zero. And with the stakes, you have all these plebs that have, if Hex would run up so much, you have all these plebs that could just dump the price down because, you know, they're staked and their stake unlocks, you know, they were forced to delay gratification, but at the same time, they'd probably emergency end stake. There are already tons of like early people that are just EESing. So most of the stakes could either be emergency end staked and dumped and then going into the hands of the whales, or just the people that are able to hold through it are probably already good at delaying gratification, so they're not going to dump the price down. I mean, that's really what happened with Bitcoin. The people at the top are able to dump the price down, but they don't because it's not in their interest to do it. And they're already rich. So at the same time, when Hex price goes up so much, the people that have a lot of it are not going to want to dump because it's not in their interest to dump. That's really what happens. So yeah, it's definitely very possible. It's definitely very possible for the Bitcoin price for the Hex price to go be more expensive than Bitcoin. But I don't know. But I like the tweet. And I like the Godwell. And the Godwell has a good track record. They won Ethereum, right? So there you go. Then there's the Hex gatekeeping. We're starting to see cracks in the gates. It's starting to come down a lot. And yeah, like look at Yahoo Finance. It's very mainstream. They listed Hex in the correct position. There you go, right under Matic, above Solana. That's big. Yahoo Finance is very big, as everyone knows. And if they're listing Hex correctly, that means a lot. And that shows that other listing sites eventually might also list Hex correctly. Then you have another one from KDP. Kraken also listed Hex in its correct position. And if Kraken is listing Hex in its correct position, maybe Kraken will also list Hex on their exchange, which would be very good, right? Which would be very good. And I think it's going to happen. I think this is a step in the right direction. We talked about Hex being listed on centralized exchanges. I think it'll happen. Just look at the trajectory, look at the direction in which Hex is going. More and more people are adopting it, right? More and more people are buying, more and more people are staking. It's becoming more and more popular. It's the strongest community, pound for pound in crypto. So that means growth. And if it keeps on going up, if these things keep on increasing incrementally, right, then inevitably it'll get listed everywhere. I don't see what will stop it. You're not going to gatekeep the biggest coin in crypto. It's just not going to happen. So it's hard to imagine that. Just for some people, just considering all the gatekeeping that's been happening. But that doesn't mean it is not going to happen. I think it is going to happen. It would be hard, again, to imagine that Bitcoin would be covered thoroughly on CNBC every single day, back in 2011, right? It would be hard to imagine that. But it happened. And you look at the trajectory as Bitcoin developed, more and more people got into it. And then inevitably it got, coverage and it got institutional buy-in. So I think provided that Hex stays on the trajectory, which I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, I think it could be listed on Coinbase. And OKX also. OKX is an exchange. They're all listing Hex, including OKX now. Yeah, so listing at 14. That's very big. And then, so that's it for Hex. Let's go check out your super chats. Then we'll get into the Pulsechain stuff. And then we'll get into the CPI. But we got 44 watching. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, go to furufinance.com right now. Link in the description. You will book your free one-on-one with me today. We could discuss the Pulsechain launch. We could discuss Hex staking ladders, market cycles, anything you have in mind. Let me be your crypto coach or crypto tutor. Educate you with regards to cryptocurrency, setting up a hardware wallet security, all those things, and more. Go to furufinance.com, link in the description, and join the Patreon. Tell me the PulseX launch date, bro. If I could tell you that, I'd charge you a lot of money and you'd pay me because it would be worth your money. But I can't tell you that, so I can't charge you. This is what I tell everyone that does a one-on-one with me. Says, yeah, what do you think the price, what's the price of Hex going to be? Should I buy now or should I wait? What's it going to be in 2 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 8 weeks, in a year? It's like, if I could tell you the exact price, if I had a track record telling you the exact price of Hex at any given period of time, correctly telling you it, I would charge you $10,000 an hour and it would be worth it. You would do it. But no one can. No one can predict short-term volatility of the markets. You can make educated guesses based on metrics. You can definitely get a good idea, not predict with certainty, which cryptos will go up over time. Or which stocks or, real estate, things like that. But with certainty, predicting the given price on a given day it's not possible. Coffee, Hex Psychological. Welcome to the show. Get it, Furu. Great job. Thanks, Todd. Todd is a patron, so I appreciate your support. You too can become a patron. Oh, by the way, guys, we did an amazing Bitcoin 5-part course available on the Patreon in the description. And tomorrow is the Ethereum one. You can participate live if you become a patron. Pleasure, man. BTFD. Speaking of price prediction, Hex price prediction next bull market. I think it's going to go up, and I think it's going to go up a lot. Is that okay? Hex or P-Hex? You got to check out the video with Johnny Chaos. I clipped it, and I actually am going to release a clip that we did with Crispy Man in the interview yesterday. There is a possibility, and Johnny Cass will say probability, that they'll be the same price. And there is a way to do it. You could check out the video on that. We'll see if it's up to the OA, so to speak. But Crypto Budget Puri, great video. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. V3 next month, hopefully. Launch the following month if no bugs are found. Well, yeah, let's get into that. Glad you brought it up. We got 44 watching, though. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you like and subscribe. We got KDP Crypto. This is, we'll do this. Let's start with Sami. Okay, you wanted to know a time frame. Sami, I may not give the best time frames. Sami has a time frame. excuse me. I marked the chart where Hex launched on the Bitcoin timeline. If Pulsechain and PulseX are released similarly to Hex, we time it so that it is after the bottom confirmation. We are getting closer. Launching too early would mean devastating paper hand prices. But I thought Sami's saying that, okay, it was close to the bottom is when Hex launched. He's inferring that Richard Hart is timing the market. I don't think he is, because that would mean that Pulsechain's ready, and there was a bug confirmed by Richard Hart, which means it's not ready, which means he's not timing it. But take with it what you will. Maybe it's not ready yet, but he's gonna time it once it's ready. So he's saying that Pulsechain launches here, right? So this is okay. Pulsechain launches here, which is mainnet would be July, which is in 5 months. He's saying 5 months to launch, but he also thinks the bottom's in, so he's saying it's not going to be launched to the bottom. So there you go. He's saying 5 months. So when is V3? That would mean maybe V3 is in 2 months. Crispy Man said we could have 3 months till V3 and then 3 months till mainnet. But that kind of goes against everything that everyone's saying, that it's syncing and, it's just a matter of being synced. And that should take a few days. People have been saying, based on the releases of Richard Hart, that it should be here like today or tomorrow. But people have been saying it's going to be available in days, 4 days. It's already been weeks that people have been saying it's going to be available. It's going to be ready in days. So Crispy Man might be right about 3 months, or maybe 2 months, and then we have a late June maybe 2023 release of mainnet. Okay, maybe 4 months, maybe 2 months. But he's saying we're getting closer. We are getting closer. The one thing that we could say with certainty is that we're getting closer. Every day it gets closer. And this was from Jake Sharp at InK Knows. Smart guy. He has a video. He's actually a developer. And he has a video saying that he said that also 2 days. It's syncing the nodes. So he's saying they're preparing all the data, Ethereum system state. You have all the previous data. That's a lot of data. It has to sync things that already happened, because system state means it has to record the history, right, of Ethereum, and not just start from the beginning, right? That all needs to be put in. 7 to 8 years of data. This is good stuff from Jake Sharp. Testnet V3 is around the corner. He says next week. There you go. And this was after the bug was reported. Next week, which means next week. Okay. Next week, guys. Next week, and maybe he's right. I hope he's right. But not necessarily him, but a lot of people have been saying that, and it didn't end up happening. So I guess that's some cool stuff. We could see it next week. You heard it there, next week, and then we could see July for mainnet. You heard it from Sami. You didn't hear it from me. You heard it from them. So if they're right, it's give me credit. If they're wrong, then give them blame. I'm kidding. And then this was cool. So KDP said Pulsechain cannot be gatekept like Hex, Binance, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko are ready for Pulsechain. Are you? So yeah, they have the preview for the Pulsechain. The question is, once it has a price, will it be listed properly, or will it be permanently on page number 200? Because right now there's no rank. So that's cool, though. They have it. I guess that's something. But that is not a guarantee that it will be listed properly. In fact, it's likely it will not be listed properly because Hex is not listed properly. And Hex is the same founder. So we'll see. At the same time, you can also say that Hex is not listed properly because these companies profit off trading, and Hex is not meant to be traded, while Pulsechain can be traded and will likely have a lot of trading volume. That's, I think, what Crispy Man talked about. You guys got to watch. If you didn't see the Crispy Man interview, you got to go to it right now and watch it. Not right now, I'm sorry. After the show, go to the live tab, watch the Crispy Man interview. A lot of alpha there. But yeah, I don't know if this means anything, but I hope it means something. And it definitely helps engagement and growth in the community. So shout out to that. We're going to get into the CPI next. But first, I'm going to look at your comments after I tell you to go to my website, furufinance.com, and schedule a free one-on-one today on your terms. You pick the time, you pick the date, get it done today, and join the Patreon. Link in the description. But yes, you want to be in the Ethereum course, silver or gold tier, and you can join live and watch the previous courses. Got a new T-share video also. Very good in-depth explanation of what the Hex T-share is. So get in the Patreon today. It's available to all tiers. But then we got the inflation thing. But first, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. We got 63 watching. So if you're enjoying the show, please like and subscribe. Oh, there's okay. I know Jake Sharp claims to be a dev, but there's no way that dude has ever done an all-nighter slaving over code. He's a salesman full of it. I don't like the last thing you said, but I can't confirm or deny he's really a dev. But yeah, no, let's be nice, guys. Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of work for the community, so I mean, he's entitled to make money as long as it's not, launching coins, vampire attacking or, being dishonest. I think you're entitled to make money. But yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, so I guess we got 62 watching. If you're enjoying, like, subscribe. But there's no comments, so we'll just get straight to the inflation. The CPI came out yesterday. It was big news. Inflation rose 0.5% in January, more than expected, and up 6.4% from a year ago. Inflation rose in January by Okay, let's just go to the article. Inflation turned higher to start 2023 as rising shelter, gas and fuel prices took their toll on consumers. The Labor Day Department reported Tuesday. Consumer Price Index, which measures a broad basket of common goods and services, rose 0.5% in January, which translated to an annual gain of 6.4%. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones have been looking for respective increases of 0.4% and 6.2%. Okay. Excluding volatile food and energy, the CPI increased 0.4% monthly and 5.6% from a year ago against respective estimates of 0.3% and 5.5%. So a little more than expected. Markets were volatile following the release, obviously, down about 200 points at the open and heading lower. Rising, yeah, we don't need it. While price increases had been abating in recent months, January's data shows inflation is still forcing the U.S. economy in danger of slipping into recession this year. This has come despite Federal Reserve efforts to quell the problem. The central bank has hiked its benchmark interest rate 8 times since March 2022, as inflation rose to its highest level in 41 years last summer. Inflation is easing, but the path to lower inflation will not likely be smooth, said Jeffrey Roach. There was some good news. Medical care services fell 0.7, airline fares 2.1, and used vehicle prices dropped 1.9. Egg prices rose 8.5. Holy crap. And are up a stunning 70.1 over the past year. That's crazy. That's where the memes come from. So a lot of it's rising home prices. Yeah. And there's a possibility of a recession. Despite all the inflation, the economy is still strong, has been strong. So there's something interesting. I was watching Benjamin Cowan, and he said that I forgot to share the screen. But he said that there will be no meeting in February or whatever. So basically, or maybe there's going to be no meeting in March. So I think we're having, what was it? Yeah, the Fed is not going. No, there's going to be no meeting this month, I think. So the Fed is not going to make a decision on rate hikes based on this CPI. It's going to be based on the next one. But yeah, so even though this was maybe a little higher than expected, it's still cooling off. That's for sure. And we're likely to continue to cool off. I said in the beginning that that inflation was going to come down. It was inevitable because when prices go up, people spend less, and spending is what causes inflation, right? Spending is what causes inflation. So inflation is still cooling off. 6.4 down from 6.5. I don't see it spiking, which means that there's probably one more 25 basis point. That's what the market is predicting. That's what the market is predicting. Another 25 basis point rate hike. And then that's it after that, provided it doesn't spike. Good video by Benjamin Cowan. I like Benjamin Cowan. He's a smart guy. And he said also that the market, what was it? He said that the market was expecting. Yeah, the market's expecting rate hikes to start, interest rates to start going down by starting December, which is right on time for the Bitcoin happening in March, right? So if rates are supposed to go down in December and markets are forward looking, then the market should price in that rates are going down already a couple months before, and that should really kick off some good price action. So yeah, so maybe August we could start seeing like some serious gains, right? Maybe in August we could start seeing some serious gains. But that's I guess what I'd say about the inflation cooling off. It was inevitable. People thought it would go on forever. It did not go on forever. And it will not go on forever. Sustained rates of high inflation are very difficult to maintain. It's very difficult, especially when you're the world reserve currency and goods are plentiful in the US for the most part, although like there are exceptions. But yeah, so inflation is very frequent in third world countries because they don't have good production. They don't have a lot of goods on the shelves, and they print money. And the scarcity overcomes, I guess, the printing of money can't match the increase of goods. So basically, the goods on the shelves are scarce, and if you print money, they're just going to go up in price. But the U.S. is not like that, at least yet. Things may change, but I don't see that happening for the near future. I think the U.S. is going to stay the richest country in the world and the world superpower for the time being. That's just the way it is, regardless of your opinion on that. That is just the reality. But what's going on? I guess that's it really for the news. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat. Just remember, go to furufinance.com and book your free one-on-one today and become a Patreon. Link is in the description. Get exclusive content, get courses, get a weekly Zoom meeting live with me, Discord, get some good stuff. So go check that out in the description below. But we got 61 watching. So if you're enjoying the show, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me hear what your thoughts are on anything that I just said. And we could check out the Hex price, see what it's doing right now. $5.16. Delete this. Also gets in the way. It's good. Jake Sharp is good advertising, so his work is good for us all. So yeah, there you go. What is pre-bridge trading technique for PLS? The pre-bridge trading technique, also talked about that with Crispy Man, which I will be clipping, but you could definitely check it out in the description. The thing about the ratio trading is you don't know what a good ratio is until it's too late, meaning a good ratio is implying in your head that you believe, I mean, let's say you believe it's 1 PLSX for 1 PLS. That's a good ratio if they're at parity, you know, when you want to take profits. But do you know they're going to be at parity or close to parity? You don't. If you think it's 2 PLSX for 1 PLS, right? You're saying that PLS is going to be double the price of PLSX. So if that plays out, that's great. But if not, then you didn't. I mean, if let's say it's 1-to-1, what is it? If it's 2 PLSX for 1 PLS, right? If that's what you trade, but it ends up being that PLSX is in fact more expensive, is more expensive than Pulse, then you got a bad deal. But you don't know you don't know the future price. You don't know the future, you know, USD ratios. So I think it's gambling. I think it's best to just DCA. But you know, there is something, I do talk about this a lot in the one-on-ones. Go to furufinance.com and book one today. But like maybe you can have 3 allocations, one for buying right away, just a purchase, one for dollar cost averaging, and then one, you know, to satiate your degen tendencies and just ratio trade. But I mean, that all really depends on your risk tolerance and things like that. But and this is not financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, but yeah, I would think that it would be better to definitely ratio trade with a smaller percentage of your capital, because you're getting into a situation where there's just, it's the great unknown bullshit launch. It's unprecedented. There's no data to base it off. And there's going to be a lot of volatility. And I think the only people that should be ratio trading are the people that actually could control price movements, like whales, because, you know, they can make bottoms tops ratios. I don't know. It's very complicated, but yeah. You can win a war on 2 fronts. Okay, don't shill that, please. Timeout. Yeah, are there any other questions? Hollywood Heart says PulseX yield can be compounded daily. Sell yield to buy more PulseX. Bigger bag, bigger yield. Do this over and over. This is not talked about enough, in my opinion. The problem is the yield is going to be very, very little if everybody keeps dumping it for PulseX, right? If everyone keeps dumping their reward, you're going to get a very, very small percentage, which you could compound, but it's not going to be worth a lot. The token keeps on getting dumped and getting dumped and getting dumped, then you're probably going to be getting fractions of a percentage yield. But we'll see how that works. I like PulseX. I don't think the yield is going to be as good as Hex. I don't think Richard Hart would allow a better yield. I mean, I don't think the OA, although we have zero expectations, would allow a better yield than PulseX, because Hex is the yield token. But I like about it, I definitely like it, and it's definitely talked about a lot. And maybe I'll be doing that. Definitely have a lot of PulseX, so I'm bullish PulseX. I love PulseX. I love Pulsechain. I love Hex. And I love my free Hedron too, right? So shout out to that. But yeah, we got 64 watching. Please like and subscribe. And go to furufinance.com. Book your free one-on-one today. $5.16 for Hex. What is Bitcoin at? Should practice PulseX staking on testnet if you haven't already. Be ready for minute. Yeah, very, very good point. It's like batting cages, you know, before you actually go to bat. You want to get in the batting cages and you want to just rep, and because it doesn't count. Then you could be ready for when it actually counts, which is during the game. So yes, definitely want to practice the PLSX staking on testnet for sure. You can even do the Hex staking, or you could do some ratio trading. Bitcoin 22.8. Not bad. You guys still think 11K and pray? You guys still think 11K and pray on the Bitcoin price? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. But yeah, not much going on in terms of Pulsechain. It's just Richard Hart also, guys. Richard Hart has not tweeted an update. He has not tweeted. He's been Twitter silent. People think that means that Pulsechain will launch very, very soon. But I don't understand why he has to be very silent in order, like, what does one have to do with the other? I guess it means he's busy with Pulsechain. I don't know, but that is something to note. I'll just share the screen there that Richard Hart has not been tweeting. He has not been active on Twitter. Has he been in the replies? February 12th, 3 days ago. Yeah, he's been. How about likes? When was his last like? February 11th. No, he has not. He has not been active. Oh, look at this like. February 7th. He liked Furu Finance. He's getting with the TikTok stuff. But yeah, there you go. Access Alive. What is going on? I'm not. Access Alive is a TA guy, so I'm not an 11K and pray vote unless a black swan takes place there for a week or less. Yeah, there you go. So the bottom is in. I've been saying the bottom for a while, so I agree with you. And black swan may not even take it to 11K and pray, right? Black swan may not even take it to 11K and pray unless it's like Binance and they have to force liquidation. So what I was saying is that we're at the point where there's been bad news, but there's been no sell-offs, right? Because, for example, the Genesis filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, there was no sell-off. And why is that? Why is there so much bad news happening in crypto, but no sell-offs? It's because we are at the point where the people that would sell based on bad news have already sold. They already sold. If you were going to sell based on bad news, meaning you don't maybe understand crypto, or you don't have such conviction on crypto, you're just kind of buying it because everyone else was buying and you didn't want to miss out on getting rich, then you would have sold already. But we're at the point where the people that are in crypto, think about the people that are still into crypto and the people that are still like holding crypto or buying crypto, they're pretty hardcore. Like, they're not going to sell on bad news. They're only going to sell on gains. That's really what it is. So the only kind of black swan that could force Bitcoin to drop another, 70% or 60% would be what's it called? Would be like Grayscale has to liquidate their their trust holdings or something, or like Binance has to liquidate their Bitcoin to pay back creditors or something crazy like that. Another thing is the Mt. Gox was one of the reasons that Richard Hart gave, and he said, yeah, we still have the Mt. Gox thing. And then after Richard Hart said that, Mt. Gox got postponed till September. Another thing I said was that Mt. Gox is probably not going to want to release the Bitcoins until there's price appreciation, because people, if they release the Bitcoin and the price is up, nobody sells it. People like selling bottoms and buying tops. So I think that's kind of what Ethereum's doing. They don't want to unlock their staked Ethereum because they're waiting for the price to be up, because they know if they release it now, it's going to be dumped. But yeah, that's really what it is. I think 11K in praise. I agree. Richard Hart is on camera saying that 15K could be the bottom because of the crazy amount. 2021. Yeah, but I think it's a little bit of a cop out though, because he said at the Hex conference way after that we're going to 11K, and that was after we hit 15.5. But that's fine. That's fine. Maybe he's wrong. That's fine. He's more right than everybody. That's for sure. Like, not even close. Like, and another thing I said is that once you become super famous, you can never be right on your price calls, but he's not there yet. But there will come a point where he will not be able to be publicly right, because if he's so big, his price calls will be front run, and then market dynamics just change. So that's what you see with like everyone on TV. Like, they're never right. But tag me in the tweet. Okay, I'll bring it up. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the tweet, guys, with he's talking to some guy, some Bitcoin OG. But he doubled down though. He did double down. He said at 15K, 11K. Still. I don't know. Definitely give that a like. Said 13 to 15K and we touched it. I don't know. Listen, I don't really care if he was right or wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, he was way more right than everybody. Everybody said we're going to 100K, 200K. One of the guys that owns a trading group and made a video saying that Richard Hart is a scammer, said that we're going to hyper Bitcoinization. Bitcoin could hit $1 million. We're going to hyper Bitcoinization. There's going to be mass adoption of Bitcoin as the world reserve currency. And Richard Hart's like 11K in pray, and it went to 15. So that was awesome. Probably saved a lot of people. But anybody that thinks that Bitcoin will be a world reserve currency is delusional. It will be a terrible currency. A terrible currency. The more quiet Richard Hart is before Pulsechain launch, the better. So opportunists aren't taking advantage of getting free PX and dumping. Just staking and chill. I guess the thing is this was another thing we discussed is it better to launch Pulsechain unannounced or to launch it announced? And what I said was actually that it might be better to I in the beginning I was thinking people are just going to buy up Hex and dump it, and it's going to lead to buy the rumor, sell the news. So it's probably better not to announce it, but I think maybe it's better to announce it because one is people like buying green candles. So like it could go up so much that the buy the rumor and sell the news dump could still leave you higher than the current price point or the price point had he not announced it. Also, it's great onboarding, right? And the example is the big payday. So many people were onboarded to Hex by the big payday. So it's just great marketing and could really help the Hex price in the long run. You know, just the buzz built up that Pulsechain is, Richard Hart announces we're going live in a week. That could build up a huge buzz that really onboards people. So maybe it'll be not so good in the short run, but still good in the long run. But also, we're not close to Pulsechain launch. We're close to the V3 launch. There's still going to be considerable time after V3. So I don't know. But welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think I've seen you before. Free ICOSA if you stake that free Hedron. Yes, 100%. 100%. I'm a big fan of minting free Hedron. But like there are people out there that think, and I keep saying this, there are people out there that think that that the ICOSA in the Hedron is going to get you better gains than Hex. The OA is the ICOSA and Hedron whale. Like he claimed his 10x and staked Hedron, and there have been times where there was sell walls put up just to prevent it from going up. So I don't know how anyone in their right mind could think that Hedron's going to outperform Hex. Even if, you know, it can get over that the barrier of, you know, being given out free to everyone, even if it could still give you mad gains, it has to get past the OA. And the OA is not going to let that happen, in my opinion. But we have no expectations from the work of others. Loving your streams. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, Steve D. Old charts are no use here. After Pulse launch, it's chaos in the good way, I think. The OA has some tricks on his sleeves to pump the price. Mad gains are coming for sure. Yeah. That's true. No use after launch. All boats rise with the rising tide. Yeah. Another day in Hex ago. Your screen is blank, man. What do you mean? We got 90 watching, so if you're enjoying the stream, please like and subscribe. But oh, sorry. It's just off the window. Let's check out the Hex price. $5.1. We got to break through that resistance and then go head for 7 cents. V3 target, guys. Cup and handle target right here. Hope Axis Alive approves of this. TA 8.5. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. If you guys have any questions, drop them right now. And please go to furufinance.com. Book your free one-on-one today. Learn more about whatever you want to. Davis, welcome to the show, Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. 1 candles. Dude, we're already getting candles. But I said this I say this probably every stream. Beginning of the end. We're in the beginning of the end of the bull market, of the bear market, the beginning of the end of the bear market. So no euphoria yet, but there's some hope. This is the climax. This is the climax. The edge of the wall is at 6.4 cents. Crazy times. But the liquidity keeps moving though, no? Hope so. What's up, Gary O? Thanks for tuning in. Future Hopium, Furu Hopium. Dude, just me coming out there and making streams talking about that should be indicative of my confidence in this community. Vast majority of my income goes into buying Hex. Okay, so I think it's going to be all right. I actually put some money today into TradFi, just like indexes, for my Roth. I recommend in my non-financial advice having a Roth IRA. It's tax-free and it's good for your mental health not to have all your money in something that drops 98% easily, or drops 90% and then drops another 90. So I think it's good. I think also there is the possibility, crypto doesn't do well, but unlikely. And I think most people believe most people that know crypto know it's coming back. And when it comes back, Hex is going to probably outperform everything, if not most, because the community and also, so a lot of people are saying it can't do so well because it's in its second cycle. It can only 4x its all-time high, like Ethereum and Cardano and whatever. But the thing is, a lot of growth is based on like new wallets and onboards. Cardano at the end of the bull market and Ethereum were listed on major exchanges. Ethereum was on Coinbase, obviously. That's why Ethereum went from 1,000 something X to like a 47, because by the time, the last cycle came around, everybody was already onboarded. There weren't, not everybody, but there was a lot less people on board. Hex, after its first 10,000X, still nobody's heard of it. Still only maybe 100,000 wallets and the strongest community. So once everybody has easy access to it and it goes viral because of TikTok, it's going to go up like crazy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like SHIB did a 15,000X. Does that mean it's going to do 1,000X or 2,000X in the next cycle? Probably not. Everybody knows about SHIB. Everybody's bought SHIB. All the normies bought SHIB. Hex, like Bitcoin in its first cycle, had massive returns, but nobody heard of it. So Bitcoin in its first cycle did a 8,000 or something. Then it did an 1,800. Hex is sort of like Bitcoin in the sense that it was the biggest gainer, but not the story. Like Bitcoin in its early days was outperforming everything, but nobody really knew about it. Because once everybody knows about it, the opportunity's gone. So I think the opportunity is still big. I think it's a lot bigger than people think. I think being in the ecosystem, being in the Hex community, being that it's so engaging, could make you think that a lot more people know about it than really know about it. So I think that's a big reason why people are like, okay, we're only going to like $1.20 or something. I think if you think rationally and you look at the metrics of something that's gone viral, something that's accessible to everything, Hex is far from it. I think there's a lot more upside. I think even when Hex does get on every exchange and everybody knows about it, I think it is still going to keep going up. Like, tech stocks in the 90s, their mad gains are done, but they're still going up because there's always more money coming into circulation. So even once you onboarded everybody, there's still more money to go in. Hey, Furu, appreciate the stuff you put out. You're the man. Question, quick TA on Hex. About to plug in another big chunk of dry powder now. What, you want me to tell you where I can't tell you where I can't tell you where the price is going to go. I told you, if I could tell you with certainty what the price would be on a given day at a given time, and I had a proven track record and I keep getting it right time and time again, I'd charge you $10,000 and you'd pay me $10,000. You'd pay me $20,000. If you could know where the price was, you could make as much money as you want. just not the way things work. But I think the risk is to the upside. I think the risk is definitely to the upside. That's what I say. I think I was saying at 7 cents, maybe don't go all in on liquid hex because you could lose your buying power for Pulsechain. I think I'm rebalancing, my stable coins for hex in preparation for the Pulsechain launch because I think we've been oversold so much that the risk is to the upside. But I still dollar cost average. It doesn't mean I'm going to put all my money in at once. But yeah. Damn. $17 Ethereum. Are we going to say that about Hex? 5-cent Hex when it's at 30K? I don't no guarantees, but I agree with you. Pulsechain explodes, Hex will be on big exchanges. People that think that it's going to be gate kept forever, just look at the trajectory. If it keeps growing and if there's more adoption, it cannot be gate kept, right? Or else exchanges that are maybe smaller than Coinbase will see it as an opportunity to take away their users. Because if they list Hex, a lot of the market, we're talking Hex is like one of the biggest cryptos, if not the biggest cryptos, right? A lot of the market, a lot of their customer base is going to leave Coinbase for exchanges that list the coins they like. True. Salvatore Condorelli. Hex is not for traders, only for patients, only for the patient. Yeah. That is true. That's why it's gatekept. 96 watching. If you're enjoying, please like and subscribe and consider becoming a Patreon, link in the description. Consider going to my website and booking a free one-on-one with me. Thanks, Furu. Thinking of waiting for pullback or just get done more. It also doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can take 50%. This is not financial advice. You can take 50% and buy it all right now, and then take the other 50% and then dollar cost average that. Or you can take 50% and buy it now, or let's say you wanted to split into thirds. You can pick 33%, 33.33333%, buy now, 33.33333 by dollar cost average, let's say weekly, and you can do 33.3333333 and wait for pullbacks on that. So there's no like you have to DCA, you have to go all in, or you have to wait for pullbacks. Personally, the way I think about it is trying to time buys and sells usually underperform dollar cost averaging. So you might want to put more into dollar cost averaging than waiting for pullbacks. But again, I don't know. But yeah, pleasure. Yes, God got Genesis, Ethereum, 31 each. Put it this way. I mean, you have to consider when you're waiting for lower prices, there will come a point where those lower prices will not come. So I'm not saying that we're at that point, but there is always a possibility we're at that point. So like Bitcoin went to 3,800, and I'm sure a lot of people were waiting for that pullback to maybe 3,000 or 2,000, and then it went to 67,000. They had to buy 20,000. So, I mean, there is always that risk. An interesting thing is also you can ladder ladder limit orders, right? And then also DCA. So if you're dollar cost averaging, let's say $1,000, 100 weekly, you could take 900. You can do your $100 buy, and then you could take 900 and ladder it. And then when the week passes, pull some from the ladder and just buy, you know, so either it hits those limit orders or gets DCA'd. That's an interesting thing I thought of. But yeah, go to furufinance.com. Thank you. Yes, like and share and retweet. Thank you so much. Like always, awesome stream, Furu. Thank you, Humberto. And going back to all-time highs is definitely not a big game for Hex. Good vibes, TA says, I remember in 2018, experts were calling for $800 Bitcoin. Yeah. You notice whenever it's down, people call for lower prices. And then when it's up, people call for higher prices. So all the Hex predictions of, let's say, $1 or $1.20, let's see if they stick when we're at like 60, 70. They're probably going to get higher. It's kind of like the liquidity. Like when the price moves, the liquidity moves. When the price moves, the price predictions move. Scooped a bunch last year at 0.1, at 18, 2, and then 3. Just ready to put more in, usually DCA twice a month to cash flow. I like twice a month because lets time pass, you know, for price changes. Price doesn't change much day to day usually. So, and there's gas fees. So if you DCA every 2 weeks, then you pay less gas. Sub 1 penny Hex talk. Yeah, same vibes. Hex to 10 to 12 cents on testnet V3 announcement and 40 to 50 on Pulsechain launch. I like it. Hey, it sounds crazy, but right, if the liquidity providers pull their liquidity, and then you have the hype of the Pulsechain launch, then the price could go up very fast, very high. The price could go very high, very fast. But yeah, 93 watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and become a Patreon. Link in the description. But I don't know. I'll give you guys a minute, see if you guys have any other questions or comments you want to say. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And just a reminder, it's a 5-part Bitcoin course. I mean, it was one day, it was chopped up into 5 parts, covers currency, then covers Bitcoin, blockchain technology, proof of work, the future of Bitcoin, and those kinds of things, which Bitcoin is the cornerstone to understanding crypto. You can get that on my Patreon, and tomorrow we're doing Ethereum. So sign up today, and you can watch it live, which is awesome. Gas fees on Ethereum have been crazy. We need Pulsechain. Yeah, I remember I once did like a swap for like $300 to buy Hex. So people say that the gas fees are what drove the Hex price down, but that's not true. If you look at like the onboards and like new stakers every day, like the time where there was the most onboards, most people getting into Hex was when the gas prices were highest, because people just wanted to buy what was going up. But yeah, no, it needs to be changed. Definitely in the long run, it's bad for the Hex price. But it is interesting that Hex was doing best when the gas prices were high. Can you talk a little bit more about what Johnny Chaos was talking about as far as the OA providing the liquidity for Pulse with PHEX to the point where PHEX will be the primary? You're saying the parity? Let's go to the drawing board, guys. Let me see if I could do this on the drawing board. guys want to know how the OA could force parity with EHEX and PHEX? Whoa. Whoops. Won't whales be able to create additional liquidity price? Another going. Still trying to understand. So basically, you have liquidity pools, right? So when the ratio is 50-50, one is swappable for the other, right? When one is swappable for the other, it's 50-50. If you can always trade one gold coin for one silver coin, they are the same value, right? They are the same value, right? Correct or incorrect? So if you have a liquidity pool that is thin, right, trades, if you have go to furufinance.com today and book your free one-on-one. But if you have a thin liquidity pool, then the price can be changed. The prices can be changed very easily. It takes fewer trades to move price up or down. So what's an example? If you have three EHEX and 3 PHEX, right? 3 EHEX and 3 PHEX, right? In the liquidity pool, right? That's all you have, 3 and 3. If I come in and I want to buy, right now, they are worth the same. 1 EHEX will get me 1 PHEX. If I go to the liquidity pool, this is me. If I take my EHEX and I put it in the liquidity pool for a PHEX, right? Now you're at 3-2, right? You are at 3-2. So yeah, so there is a third more. That is a major change. I mean, what's just do some math here. That's 1.5. So you have 1.5 to 1. So then if you have more, right? If you have, let's say, 10 EHEX, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should have prepared this. PHEX. If you add an EHEX, you take away and you take the PHEX, right? You want to trade for a PHEX, whatever. It's now you have 11-8. 1.375. 1.375 to 1, right? So 1.5 to 1 is a bigger change in ratio than 1.375 to 1. So the more liquidity there is, the harder it is to change the ratios, essentially. The less you change a ratio with a trade. So with 3-3 being 1-1, one trade getting it to 1.5 to 1, then you have 10-10, one trade will only get it 1.375 to 1, right? So the more liquidity there is in the pool, the less you can change the ratio with the trade. So that means that if you go to 20-20, it would probably be 1.23 whatever to 1. The ratios change less and less with each trade. That means that is thicker liquidity, thinner liquidity. Point is basically if the OA who has like way more hex than there is than anyone has by far, meaning like 90% of the supply, if he pairs 10 billion on each side, there is no way you can possibly significantly change the ratios. That's really what it is. So already you see going from three to three on each side to 10 on each side, you how much less you change the ratio with one trade. If you go to 20 on each side, you change it even less. If you go to 100 on each side, you change it even less. You go to 1,000, you go to 10,000. How about you go to 10 billion? You go to 10 billion on each side, you can literally take all the hex outstanding, aside from the liquidity provided by the OA. You can trade all your EHEX for PHEX, and the ratio will change from 1 to 1 to like 1.000000075 to 1. And that would never happen. That is how EHEX and PHEX can have a forced parity by the OA. Only the OA has enough hex on Ethereum and hex on Pulsechain to make it that it is impossible for anyone else to have enough liquidity, enough hex, either EHEX or PHEX, to possibly change the ratios. They can't change the ratios, and it's always pretty much 1 to 1, although there'll be some like decimals, then it's parity, right? It's parity. That means that if, let's say, you say, oh yeah, but against the US dollar, the prices may differentiate. Yes. So let's say you have EHEX and PHEX each cost $1, right? They each cost $1. EHEX and PHEX each cost $1. If EHEX goes down to 97 cents, because of the pools and liquidity for USDC, and PHEX is still at $1, this is called an arbitrage opportunity because it's 50-50. It's 1 to 1 in the EHEX PHEX pool. So people will see that opportunity. They'll buy up the 97 cent hex. They'll buy it at 97, which means only 97 cents. They'll trade it in the EHEX PHEX pool 1 for 1, and they'll get $1 hex for 97 cents, and then they'll sell that. So that's going to buy up the hex on Ethereum and drive down the hex on Pulsechain, which will bring the prices back to parity. So that's what happens on Bitcoin. On Bitcoin, why does every exchange have the same price, more or less? Because when there's a difference, there are these bots or buyers that come in and they buy it up. They buy it up on the cheaper exchange. They sell it on the more expensive exchange. So that's what will happen essentially with EHEX and PHEX. If the OA does this, if the OA puts in so much liquidity that the ratios can't be changed and they're always 1 to 1, if the price of one goes down, price of EHEX goes down, people will buy it up. They'll buy 97 cent EHEX and trade it for PHEX and sell that PHEX for $1. They made 3 cents on the dollar. That's called arbitrage. That is what will likely happen. That is why Johnny Chaos is saying that the OA could force parity. And mathematically, it makes sense. It's mathematically makes sense. Question is whether or not he's going to do it. That we could speculate. It certainly seems more in his interest to do it. But does that make sense? Gun Monk, let me know if what I'm saying makes sense, if this is a good explanation. If not, I could maybe further clarify. But that is essentially what it is. You have thin liquidity. You could change the ratios very easily. As the liquidity gets thicker, you cannot change the ratios as easily. Once the liquidity could get to the point of thickness where it is impossible to change the ratios. They're just 1 for 1 because with the OA, he has so much the circulating of the supply that he can make it impossible to change the ratios. Come on, amazing! This is absolute gold, Furu. Exactly. Yes, thank you, man. So the OA could use that same liquidity pool to keep the ratios for multiples of hex for pulse. Yes, correct. That is where it gets a little, yeah, correct. Exactly. So you'll have the same arbitrage, I guess, but it's a little more complicated because we're talking about, it's not going to be 1 to 1 arbitrage. It'll be, let's say, a 10 to 1 arbitrage or 200 to 1 arbitrage against the US dollar. But yes, Yes, I appreciate that. I guess I might have to clip that up so people can better understand it. And if you guys want to arrange a one-on-one, you can have me for a one-on-one consultation at furufinance.com for free, or you could book for a paid one for an hour. But anything you need education on, just let me know. Go to furufinance.com, book today, and become a Patreon. But can you stake Hex with a cold storage wallet using MetaMask? Yes. Go to furufinance.com, book a free one-on-one. But yes, you can. You have to access MetaMask through the cold storage wallet, meaning using the cold storage wallet through MetaMask. So you will see your balance on MetaMask, but if you want to send money or use a protocol, you will have to sign on your cold storage wallet, meaning your seed phrase is not online and cannot be hacked. If I hack into your computer and go to your MetaMask, I will not be able to take your money because the seed phrase is not on the internet. Free or paid one-on-one. Sexy. Yes. RH Max is here. RH Max, do you want a link? Would you like to come on? Because yeah, I'll send you a link if you want to come on. Whoops. He's got a double header. Okay. No, I just can't hurt to ask, but yeah. I'm gonna try to avoid 3 streams today. Got 2 double headers in a row today and tomorrow, and he clips and he does a blog. RH Max does a lot for the community. You guys should be thanking RH Max. Thank you, RH Max. And he streams. Might be able to hop on Friday for the local Hexkin meetup. Yeah, totally hop in on Friday. We're killing it. Yo, thanks, bro. I really appreciate that. Are you guys subscribed to RH Max's channel? RH Max was the first Hexkin to have me on his show. So I will be forever grateful to RH Max. And I always love talking to him. And yes, come on my show. Just, I guess we'll confirm, but Friday, totally. Such great info. Please clip this. I will clip this because I love you, Brandon. Because you said that, I will clip this, and hopefully Johnny Chaos will be able to see it and be proud of me. Do you have a job? I did, but I do not have one any longer. My job is working for you guys, but my unemployment is coming to an end, so I might have to get one, but hopefully not. Hopefully I could keep on doing one-on-ones, and I can keep on entertaining you guys and keep on working for the community, but that might not. I hope it does, but we'll see. PulseX price in 10 years will be insane as so much will be burnt. Yes, correct. Very true. I think so. I think so. Great stream. Thank you. But yeah, we've been streaming for an hour 29. It goes by fast. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Hex 5.23. Okay. There we go. When you go into crypto for faster returns in the stock market by 10 years, hopefully not. Support Furu. I don't want to see him selling any of those books on the wall. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Just hopped on. Do you see any reason for Hex to dip again soon? Maybe a Federal Reserve pivot. There's always a reason to dip. The question is if I mean I could give you the parade of imaginary horribles. The question is whether or not they happen or not. Like, right? Binance could go Grayscale could have to liquidate, but is that going to happen? Probably not. It could definitely dip again. Is it gonna go to lower lows? I don't think so. I think the bottom's in my non-financial advice opinion. But yeah, you'll have to watch the replay. Staking for 15 years. Yeah, me too. I think Hex will dip if Pulsechain is delayed. It's only up because people are still thinking V3 is this month. Possibly. But what makes you think V3 is not this month? May or may not be this month. All right. I guess that's it for today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please go to furufinance.com, book your one-on-one. Consider becoming a patron. Link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great rest of your day.